Back in the beginning of the century, video games and cartoons were like a clique. They were always seen together. They were video games that weren't made with any quality in mind. They were made to make a quick buck out of companies, and we all played them, right?
Seriously, if there was a show you liked, there was bound to be a video game for it. From the Fairly Odd Parents, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Samurai Jack, The Simpsons, to the Power Rangers. If you liked it, there was a video game for it. Of course, this was made in the name of making a quick buck from parents that thought their kids would like that game. Because their kids liked the cartoon or movie, they were sure to like a video game of it.
So thanks a lot for the Nemo game for Christmas, Mom and Dad. It really sold, though. It's one of the most sold games out for the Game Boy Advance. What the hell?
Another title that was a victim of this was the Powerpuff Girls, a unique show that appealed to all demographics, from boys and girls to big or small to young and old. It was a show that had everything: humor, action, sadness, innuendos, etc. You would thought that such an action-packed show would make an equally great video game franchise, right? Well, it doesn't really. The Powerpuff Girls had a chain of terrible video games, whether being extremely ugly or being incredibly boring, short, and lazy. But even though the Powerpuff Girls games are below average, there are some games that aren't really very bad. In fact, only two. I'm not counting the PC games, I haven't played them. But one that I recently played was the Powerpuff Girls Mojo Jojo A Go-Go, released in November 2001 for the Game Boy Advance, an on-rails shoot-'em-up that you can play with all the three girls.
And that's the game we're going to be reviewing today.
Starting off, I gotta say that the title screen looks really great. Whenever they make their laser eyes their respective color, it just leaves me thrilled. The game then dumps you into the level 1, without any sort of explanation on how you actually control the game. Basically, Mojo sets off a load of robots and we have to stop him. Up until here, the game stays true to its source material. The cutscenes look really good too. The controls are really simple. You press A to punch, B to fire lasers, and L to switch girls. A problem I had with the previous games is that the Powerpuff Girls weren't really doing anything as a team, which was really underwhelming. I mean, the show was all about teamwork. Here, not only can they share a screen, but they have their own life bar. Pretty good up until now. All the robots Mojo made, or Mobots, have these color gems that are either pink, blue, green, or silver. The enemies that have a corresponding gem to the corresponding girl are easily killed by said girl. For example, if I kill a pink enemy with Blossom, it will only take a hit and the gem I collect will be twice the points. The silver ones are just there because... meh.
Oh, and by the way, that's a Starmie. What you're seeing is a shiny Starmie. Don't deny it, you know it's true.
The game is actually pretty challenging. It took me a couple of hours to get through level 1, and levels are extremely long. The game also has a fast pace, so it gives you a perspective that you are actually chasing Mojo, which is what the game is all about. Too bad the game is so short, with only 6 levels and a bonus one. At the end of each level, there is a boss fight with Mojo, which aren't really hard if you know what to do. And if I place first in the score tally, I get a piece of blueprint for some robot that Mojo is making. If I collect them all, I unlock a bonus level. There are these stars that make the girls have their own separate Powerpuff attack, if you have all the 3 girls standing, of course. But watch out for that, sometimes the game breaks and it's not really good. The music also makes you feel that you are in the PPG universe. Up until now, the Powerpuff Girls games music were either nothing to do with the show, or were just one repetitive song.
Well, for the Nintendo 64 game anyway.
Also, the music kinda fools you. Like in this level, when you hear this music, you think this is gonna be a walk on the park, but it's actually the most challenging level yet. God, I lost here so many times. And there are also chemical X vials spread throughout the levels, which, contrary to what I saw so far in the PPG video game franchise, is something to help you execute attacks, which isn't characteristic of the show at all. Here, in this game, restores your life. Even though in the show that isn't really what the chemical X is for, at least is a bit more accurate than the previous game, fearing that's what brought the girls to life and all. So positive notes. I really like the fast pacing of this game. It seems like a fitting game for the Powerpuff Girls, which was a show that had a lot of speed. The game is also pretty challenging. Levels are actually pretty long, the game doesn't look too bad, you can play with all the girls and they make sure you use them all, which is interesting. Every girl has its separate life bar and Chemical X is used more accurately than the previous games. However, on the negative side, the game is really short. It only has 6 levels and a bonus one. The only villain that comes around is Mojo Jojo, and I found myself using the laser beams more oftenly than the punch. Sure, there are these temporary upgrades for the punches and some bosses make you use the punch attack, but it really isn't a very fair aspect. And the fact that this game doesn't really have much replayability. Once you actually know the levels and stuff, it's not challenging anymore. So for all the color this game has, loyalty to the source material, interesting music, fun levels, and the nerve to challenge me even though it's a licensed game, I give this game 8 points out of 12 with a title of Pretty Great.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you also play this game if you're a die-hard Powerpuff Girls fan like me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, flight to safety bubbles! Oh, come on! Damn this fly meter.